of clowns. They're all stupid and they're proud, painted smiles on their mouths. I don't hang with bozos, homie, I can't be around. Rise up, can't let them divide us. You and me, we can burn this world down.
Hello everybody, Drew here, representing Drew.Games Games on this particular stream here on the Drew.Underground channel for Breaking Rocks, and it's fitting that it's number 86. Joining me is Desert Nord. Hey bro.
Hey there, how you doing?
And as I said, it's kind of fitting that this is number 86, given what's going on with Sony and PlayStation that we'll get into in just a little while here.
Yeah.
But the good news at this point, Xbox Game Pass price cut from $29.99 to $22.99.
Yes, it was surprising but pleasant to hear.
And also that Call of Duty won't be in Game Pass at launch. The current one won't be in, or the one that comes out this year won't be in until next year when the next one comes out.
Yeah, I still...
First of all, my thoughts on modern Call of Duty, I don't give a...
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, it's just beyond dog shit at this point. I don't even... I mean, it's breathtakingly bad now, and it's nothing like it used to be. The golden era of that entire game series is long gone.
And the fact that that is coming from someone who loved the very first one, played all of them, there's only one reaction to you saying that, bro.
Damn! Yeah. I've played about a dozen titles in that series, and when I say played them, I don't mean, slightly or for 10 minutes and then gave up, or, tried it out. No, I'm talking about hours of my life. In some cases, months or years of my life, depending on which title we're referring to.
Yeah.
And so I know the series extremely well, just like many other, people in the early COD lobby days. Yeah, it's dog shit. There's no reviving it. There's no saving it. They've beaten it to death. The horse isn't even together anymore. It's long dead and been beaten to pieces. It's just little bits of horse bone left over, and they're still beating the dirt where the horse bone pieces are laying.
Yeah.
Trying to get more blood out of this dead horse. So
long story short, where Call of Duty officially died for me was at Vanguard.
Yeah. Well, I mean... I think somewhere after the Ghosts era, for me.
For me, it took a big hit with Black Ops 4.
Mm-hmm.
As it had no campaign.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to play it, but I got talked into getting it because a guy that I worked with, my team lead at Target at the time, wanted me to 1v1 him in it, and I did, and I shot him in the nuts for it.
Yeah.
Within the game. So you can insert your Stone Cold Steve Austin joke there that I played it with my team lead from Target, shot him in the nuts, then I saw him the next day at work, and I'm like, so how your nuts feel, boss?
Yeah. But yeah, everything after Ghosts to me was dog shit. Like, it was all just downhill from there.
Yeah. So Call of Duty means nothing. I don't expect it to mean anything again.
Yeah.
But the price cut for Game Pass, that's a good thing. And now there's rumors of potential pick your own thing to put in your Game Pass subscription pay thing.
Yep.
Like, for example, if instead of like the Fortnite bullshit that's in there, Take that out, throw an ESO Plus. That would be an interesting idea.
Oh yeah, well, I mean that's certainly a nickel
Fallout
and dime you to death situation there too.
Fallout First being in that would give me a reason to play Fallout 76, because then I'd be able to use the fucking private servers to play by myself.
Yeah.
At that point.
Which, thanks to their terrible idea, is really the only way to play that game anyway.
And then there's other two things that are rumored to be options if this does happen. Minecraft Realms.
Yeah.
Which you and I already pay into.
Yep. Thankfully, Minecraft is the kind of game where the developers understand that it shouldn't be expensive.
Now, this last one is for the PC crowd, but it would only really mean anything to you and I, for the most part, if this game were to go to, say, Xbox, Series X, or console in general. I mean, WoW's subscriptions, i.e. World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Their subscription service. The only thing that will mean anything to Xbox console users is if WoW goes to console for the first time in its entire history. and it's been around a long ass time.
I gotta say that I think there would be so much wailing and gnashing of teeth if they decided to do that
on PC. Yeah,
yeah. I'm just saying the screams could be heard to the heavens if they do that. But
yeah, kind of like when a PlayStation game goes to Xbox and vice versa. The console fanboys wail like Banshees in Skyrim, honestly.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a certain validity to it, though. I understand that crossplay, especially, is just a terrible idea with a lot of games. And a lot of these developers are just so hot to make crossplay games. And it's like, you guys don't understand. The PC players, a good majority of them, are hacking and cheating. Okay? Yeah. And there's nothing a console player can do about it except get shit on. So the only games where crossplay makes sense or is even remotely fair is games where you're not PvPing each other. But that doesn't stop these developers. They go, oh, our game's PvP? Let's do crossplay with PC and console. It'll be great. And it's fucking disastrous. It's just stupid. You'll kill the entire console side of your game entirely. There won't be anyone on console playing.
And then you wonder why places like Inside Gaming, or whatever they were called at the time, was reporting on mass hacking on PC in Sea of Thieves.
Yep.
And then I'm like, yeah, I know. My crew and I ran into them.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's true of every game. I mean, the same thing, DayZ decided to do the same thing with their PvP servers. They decided to do crossplay with PC and console. And frankly, if you're on trying to play PvP on DayZ now with crossplay, forget about it. Just forget about it. You're going to get shit on 100% of the time. You're going to get shot as soon as you spawn in. It's like, what's the point of this? It's like a death simulator. It used to be a walking simulator. Now it's a death simulator. Like, I always play games just to get killed immediately with nothing at all. Getting to do nothing at all except die as soon as I load in.
So
sounds great.
With that being said, with the moves that Xbox is making, in my opinion, at the moment, yours might be different. Asha Sharma, is she the right person for the job? I don't know, but she took the right step in the right direction, which is forward.
Sure, but I'm sure that there's certain people in the executive tier of the company that are not thrilled about it.
Well, good. Fuck them.
No, I know, and this is where we could say, okay, if this is how, if she's going to be one of those people that says, to hell with the exec guys, I'm going to do what gamers would want me to do, then she'll probably be pretty great, but she'll also probably be pretty short-lived in her position.
Now, to play devil's advocate for a second, anyone who still loves Call of Duty would be mad that it's not in Game Pass. Here's the thing, folks. if you're a Call of Duty fan, loyal and everything, guess what? You're still going to spend the $80 for the fucking game anyway, so shut up.
Yeah, they considered that a trade-off for some reason. They considered it to be like, well, if we're going to give away money by lowering the price of our service, we need to take away one of their goodies to afford it, quote unquote.
And it wasn't really even a goodie in our opinion.
No, I know. I don't give a flying
And in
flying
fact,
fuck about Call of Duty at this point.
if I were to put together a list, which is what we do sometimes here in the underground, but a list of things that they could remove from Game Pass to bring the price down. Actually, that's a half-bad idea for the next episode, I think.
Yeah.
Put together a list of things that Microsoft should remove from Game Pass to lower the price.
Yeah, if this is how it works, then shit, I got some ideas.
We both do.
I got a bunch of suggestions of shit you could remove from Game Pass to lower the price even further.
Honestly, though, in my personal opinion, and also as a voice here on YouTube, removing games day one, I probably would not put it in that list.
No, I mean day one Game Pass releases are they're one of the things that keep you paying for Game Pass. So
yeah, and they're the only thing that PlayStation Plus doesn't have.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it sets Xbox apart from PlayStation, which is the only thing that sets Xbox away from PlayStation. Yep. Except for other stuff that we got to talk about PlayStation today.
Yeah, except for the recent developments, of course. Yes.
Yeah. So now, because, well, I think we've said all we can about Game Pass at this point.
Yeah, no, the positive change with the price decrease and the taking away of Call of Duty on Game Pass, it's a positive development. But I sense that this is a decision that I don't think that the upper types wanted to see.
Yeah.
They really didn't want to see this kind of trade-off happen. But they also knew that there was a gigantic exodus of people when they decided to increase the price more previously. So they needed to do something to fix that because they lost a lot of Game Pass payers. A lot of Game Pass subs ran to the hills from that one.
Yes, indeed.
They had to do something. So this is what they decided to do.
So with that in mind, you ready to start? Well, I can't really say talk about PlayStation because this is the kind of situation that, like what Tom Grassi said about the Rams drafting Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
Tom Grassi was like, hey, I've seen this before because they drafted Jordan Love in 2020.
Yeah.
That was my reaction to the situation with PlayStation that we're about to talk about right now. I'm like, I've seen this before in 2013 with Xbox.
Yeah.
What do I mean by that? We're going to go look at X first about this. So, PlayStation have issued official statement to GameStop or GameSpot. I can't read apparently right now. About PS5 online DRM for its digital games. Yes, PlayStation doing the Xbox One DRM bullshit. Yep. Have you learned nothing, PlayStation and Sony? Because when Xbox introduced this, everyone flocked to you and PlayStation. Now you're doing this. Guess what's going to happen? People are going to flock to Steam and PC or flock to Xbox. By the way, not Nintendo because they're doing this shit too. But
yeah, it seems like Sony is saying, "Oh, yeah, you remember that mistake they made? I like that. Let's do that."
Yeah,
they look at other people's mistakes and see good decisions.
But to read PlayStation's statement or Sony's official statement, players can continue to access and play their purchased games as usual. A one-time online check is required to confirm the game's license, after which no further check-ins are required.
Yeah.
Where's my clip? Oh, here it is.
Bullshit.
I'm sorry what you're putting out, Sony. GameSpot say the license checks may have been introduced to combat refund scams. Okay, but
yeah, how prevalent are those though?
Considering that Sony is so anal about refunds in the first place,
yeah,
I don't buy it. But we're designed to convert into unlimited license afterwards. In other words, there's a window where it's a temporary license, the check happens, and if you're connected to the internet, it's a permanent license that you have access to, whatever, supposedly. But if you don't have internet when that check is supposed to be happening, you can't play that game that you purchased digitally. Mm-hmm. In other words, Sony is declaring war, at least from what I'm seeing of all of this, on gamers. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's they're once again baffled and just mystified about refund scammers. It's like, you guys put yourselves through this shit when you refuse to release physical games.
Yeah, and then this we have in the thumbnail of our stream. Thank you for your interest on the 30-day timer that is being applied to all new purchases. It's not past purchases. It's starting from when this went active on PS5 and PS4. And yes, it is on PS4 as well, because you can actually see the timer on there. You can't see it on PS5 for some reason. Affected content. Games purchased digitally after March 2026. So, any game that gets purchased now, essentially.
Yeah.
Digitally, mind you. Offline functionality. If the console does not connect to the internet within 30 days, the license expires and the game may refuse to launch until connection is restored. Where have I heard this before?
Yep.
Oh yeah, it was in 2013 when Sony was saying you don't have to do any of this shit on PS4.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, no, it was a big talking point for them.
Yeah, at E3, we all saw it. Trading and lending games.
Yep.
The two executives that don't work for Sony and PlayStation anymore, handing each other a physical copy of Killzone Shadowfall, saying, "Here's how to share games on PS4. Here, thanks." Yeah. Primary console restriction. Setting a console as primary does not bypass the 30-day requirement. I'd be surprised if it did. The 30-day is a valid period and is not a sign of an account restriction or anything like that, except for it is an account restriction. That's exactly what it is. Isn't it?
They're just gonna do it and say it's not what it is. It's amazing.
Am I the stupid one here? But that sounds like an account restriction, doesn't it?
It is, yes.
It's exactly what it is. Don't bullshit us. Don't shit in our face and tell us it's raining chocolate, Sony.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what Sony looks like right now. A drilling Patrick. Exclusive. Sony stock crashes as new PlayStation DRM laws hit the internet. Gamers are worried about the consequences of DRM and the downfall of PlayStation. No word from Jeff Keighley.
Yeah. I have a feeling he's not going to just put out a statement about this either.
Well, first of all, I don't care what Jeff Keighley fucking has to say.
No, I know. Like what he says would even matter.
His Game Awards, first of all, have been so irrelevant that you and I started doing our own.
Yeah, but and the other thing is there's such a woke circle jerk, and that's what its probable. I mean, its biggest problem has been for
Yeah.
years is that it's all about. Again, it's like they were lost behind some kind of, I don't know, blindfold of stupidity for years now, and they could be so important and so impactful and so relevant if they weren't so damn dumb.
Yeah. But
They're like, oh well, we got a
in
vote from the gamers that says this game is great, but fuck that game. We have a game that we prefer to give an award to.
but in
like-
related in what's that?
Well, I was just saying, whose opinion matters fucking more than the gamers when it comes to games?
Should be no one, but
Except Jeff Keighley in the Game Awards over like, well, we think the gamers are a little bit toxic. It's like, well then fuck you. I mean,
but
you wouldn't even fucking have a job, a career, a life. You'd be dirt poor and jerking people off for $5 if it weren't for fucking gamers, Jeff.
But to borrow a basic line from what's his name from the radio in Fallout 4. And in other news, no wait, it's not other news, it's related news. And this report coming from YouTube channel Jackson. So go subscribe to him. He's got 7.34 thousand subs. Thank you for this video. And the link to the video is in the description. Go click it. Go watch it for yourself. Go subscribe to him. Go hit the like I did. Share this video out from Jackson about Sony's lawsuit just backfired.
$7.85 million. That's the price tag Sony agreed to pay for allegedly running a digital monopoly on their own storefront. And before you finish hearing the rest of this, you should know exactly how absurd the math gets, because the people who got cooked the hardest are getting paid back in PlayStation credits. Sony writes a check. The check immediately bounces right back into Sony's pocket. Beautiful self-cleaning ecosystem they built here.
That's the key word. You settle the lawsuit out of court. You pay it out with in-store credit to gamers, the very same store that gamers get fucked over on in the first place.
Yeah.
And the money goes right back into Sony's pocket.
It's mostly because they didn't have enough money to pay the recompense for what they had done.
So in other words, they just get a slap on the wrist and they get the money back.
Yeah.
Because here is my advice to those watching. Don't take the credits from Sony. Instead, give them the finger, close your wallet, and step away from PlayStation. That's my advice. Because Sony won't get that money back if you don't buy into their bullshit.
Yeah, and the thing about that money, though, is that money isn't even real in that particular case. It's all just made up fucking currency that they control and they create. It's like, imagine if I did something wrong and I got fined in a currency I could make up out of thin air. Like,
so therefore, how you hurt them in this case is cancel PlayStation Plus, move over to PC or Xbox or anywhere else, and to hell with PlayStation.
You know, I get in trouble. I get a judgment against me, but it's in Nord dollars, and Nord dollars are a currency I made up. It's like, oh, what's it going to cost me? What? Oh my God! All these Nord dollars I have to give out. Oh my God!
Anyway,
Sony didn't feel anything from that judgment at all, and that's the point here.
No. Well, it's not even a judgment. They didn't even go to court. They settled out of court.
Well, you know what I mean. They didn't feel anything from this settlement. They didn't feel anything.
The only way for them to feel it is for them to feel it like Xbox, to this day, is still feeling 2013. They're still feeling that to this day.
Yeah, the way that Sony would have been properly and fairly dealt with in this case was to have a legal case, be FTC investigated, and have a fine by the federal government against them for what they did.
But
Money that they can't use Sony credits in their fucking own store to make up for.
But it gets worse.
Yeah.
Watch.
Piece by piece, because every single paragraph has something stupid buried in it. Straight from the official court notice, plaintiff alleges that defendant violated federal antitrust law and certain state laws. Plaintiff alleges that defendant engaged in anti-competitive conduct designed to monopolize the PlayStation digital game market, thereby causing consumers to pay more than they otherwise would have paid for certain digital games on the PlayStation Store.
And with that said, correct me if I'm wrong, but when companies release a game physically, they pay to have the case made, the box art, the physical disc, right?
Yep.
They don't have to pay for any of that when they release it digitally.
Correct. It's a massive cost savings, and that's why they did digital games.
So the digital games should cost less, not more, except for the costing more on PlayStation.
Yeah, and you're not even including the cost of shipping the physical games to a store location and marketing them at the store to people who then go physically buy them. Yeah. It saved them a lot of money to go digital on games.
Yeah, so Sony is hell-bent on declaring war on physical games and on gamers in general.
Yeah.
Then here's my declaration to Sony and PlayStation, and just really the gaming industry as a whole, honestly. And no, my declaration does not involve downloading a game from Game Pass or PlayStation Plus and playing that digitally to see if you want to buy a physical copy of it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just buying a digital game outright, period, on whatever platform. I drew that games. I'm officially declaring war on the digital gaming market. And from here on out, physical only, no questions asked. And as I said, that does not involve downloading a game from Game Pass or anything like that. That's different, right?
Sure.
Because you're not actually buying the game outright. You're borrowing it. You're renting it from the online service to play it, and then once you uninstall it, it goes back into the service, and you don't actually have it digitally or otherwise.
At that point, that is not a whole lot different than having a membership at a ye old video game rental store
or a membership at a gym or whatever.
Yeah, it's a pay service. It goes like anything else.
That's different. I'm talking about paying money to supposedly own, like, when it comes to digital games, own the license, which you don't actually own. Instead, going out to a store or purchasing to have delivery from Amazon or Target or whoever, a physical game.
Yeah.
That's where I'm coming from, and that's where I'm going.
No, I mean, it's always been true. If you don't have a physical copy of a game, you don't actually own the game.
Yeah.
You don't actually own a copy of the game if you only have a digital copy. You don't own shit. Yeah. You're borrowing it and under their permission.
So therefore, as far as I'm concerned, if you walk with me, you're going to have to walk down the physical game alley with me. Bro?
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that?
Well, no, I mean, it's again, it was always dubious. It was a cost savings thing for them to ever move away from physical games. Mm-hmm. We know they saved millions of dollars going that route, but we also knew that it was going to require a heavy dedication to ethics as companies to not end up screwing gamers out of games they paid for, which it was inevitable that the developers were going to want you to pay for shit you didn't get and want you to pay even more than you ever did before for less than you ever got from, any of those olden days.
Yeah. So with
Now
that
you're not
said,
getting complete games. You're getting pieces of games, digital versions, licenses that can end up disappearing or being revoked. You can pay for a game, or like our buddy Prayer. You can invest literally thousands into a game and have them suddenly send you a notification one day that you're banned from the server for life. And have to beg and plead them to let you back. And of course, they don't explain most of the time what the fuck you did to deserve that. And they don't take into account the fact that you might have literally spent, I don't know, thousands of dollars playing the game over the course of a couple of years. They don't care. It doesn't matter to them. No biggie. You did something we don't like, so fuck you. You don't get it. You don't get the game no more.
I think I know why he got banned. He didn't spend enough money on the game.
Anyway, that's the type of shit that they couldn't do in the old day. If you bought the game physically, you had the game. The only thing that could stop you from playing the game was the breakdown of the disc, or the breakdown of your console, or the breakdown of your mind, and something wrong with you. Nothing could stop you from playing the game when you had the physical copy in your hand.
Yeah.
Nothing, at least nothing developer related, could stop you. And you didn't have to pay even more money to get to play the same game you already paid for before. Looking at you, fucking developers of Destiny. You didn't have to pay for a
that
game
would be Bungie.
Yeah, Bungie. You didn't have to pay for a game you didn't end up getting to play. You didn't have to get suddenly one morning wake up and find out you're banned from playing the game ever again. None of that shit ever happened when you owned a physical copy. But now that it's all digital, it's dangling a dollar over your head saying, I got you $1. And they could yank it away at any second.
Yeah.
And it's worse. They can let you, touch it and feel it, but you can't have it. I mean, not to be, too salacious about it, but but let's put it this way. Owning a physical copy of a video game is like getting married, and technically you can still have that go bad. And it could still blow up in your face, and you could still end up with nothing when it's all said and done. But it's a lot less likely than, like, say, the digital copy environment we're in, where basically it's like going to a strip club. You get to have the experience if you're a good boy, and you pay enough money that we like, and do as we say, and look but don't touch. That's essentially the difference here. You can look but don't touch when you have a digital copy of a game, but if you have a physical copy, guess what? It actually is yours, and something catastrophic would have to happen for you to lose access to it. So, again, that was the change. That was always the criticism. That always will be the criticism of digital versus physical. And it was always an unfortunate development and a greedy move for them to do it. They're just always hunting for efficiency. And now they don't have any new way to be more efficient. So now they're just screwing customers over. And it's the inevitable progression, honestly.
There's like several clips that I'm going to be using quite a bit on this episode of Breaking Rocks.
Yeah.
As we 86 PlayStation here.
Yeah.
Because honestly, anyone buying into PlayStation now for the exorbitant prices that a PlayStation 5 Pro is, or base PS5 is, or any PlayStation at this point, this is obviously what Sony thinks that they got.
Gotcha, bitch.
Right?
Sure. Yeah.
Meanwhile, then there's you and I and this Jackson fellow, evidently screaming,
Stop breaking the law, asshole!
Yes, it's not ethical to overcharge a customer for a product that you're the only one that sells it. It's not ethical to jack prices just because you can.
But we should get back to this video because it's 18 minutes long and we're only about a minute in.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so it's right there in print. Sony allegedly rigged their own marketplace so you'd pay more for a digital copy of NBA 2K18. That's the accusation. And yes, allegations aren't convictions. I hear you. But here's the thing about people who think they did nothing wrong. They don't sign settlement papers before discovery is even finished. They fight. They drag it out. They make you prove it. Sony didn't do that. Sony reached for the checkbook and asked how much it'd take to make this disappear. That's not the move of an innocent party. That's the move of a company that knows exactly what's in those internal emails.
Like we were saying earlier.
Yeah.
Defendant SIE will pay $7,850,000 after April 1 to settle the claims in the action. Brother, Sony's network services revenue last fiscal year was something like $29 billion. The PSN division alone could find this settlement amount in its couch cushions. Calling this a punishment is like fining a billionaire 50 cents for jaywalking and then issuing a press release about your tough enforcement stance. Their legal department probably...
This meant nothing to them. Yes.
Yeah, this fine feels like somebody else. Well, I feel like I'm going to abuse this clip quite a bit today.
Stop breaking the law, asshole!
Yeah.
Because to find Sony that piddly amount of money, yeah, that clip fits whoever enforced that shit on Sony, right? At this point, because that fine is going to do nothing.
They don't
to deter
seriously,
Sony from doing this shit.
They don't seriously believe that that's all that Sony gained from doing this, do they?
Well, as we said, and I know that he'll say it at some point in this video too,
had it categorized as predicted antitrust exposure 3 years ago. They priced the violation in. They knew what they were doing. They knew what it would cost when they got caught, and they decided the margin was worth it. That's not me being dramatic. That's just how corporate risk modeling actually works. Interim lead counsel will seek approval from the court to obtain reasonable attorney's fees for all class counsel of up to 25% of the settlement amount, reimbursement of reasonable costs and expenses incurred by class counsel in connection with the action, and payment from the settlement fund or attorney's fees in the aggregate of $30,000 for service awards to Augustin Kakuri, Adrian Sendejas, and Alan Newmark. 25%. So roughly $2 million off the top, straight to the law firm. Then expenses, then 30 grand for the named plaintiffs as a thank you for letting your name sit on the docket for 5 years. Then administration fees, because you can't run a class action without paying somebody to mail envelopes. By the time the settlement money...
I want that job.
Yeah, I know, right?
Because apparently that's a well-paying job to just mail envelopes to people.
Yeah,
Where can I sign up to do that?
Very difficult, too, I'm sure. You know, just dangerous, heroic work they're doing there.
Yeah.
It actually trickles down to the people who got overcharged. You're looking at maybe $4 a head paid out as PSN credit you can use to buy more games from the same store that just got busted for monopolizing the market.
Like we said earlier.
Do you see it now? Do you see how the entire mechanism is engineered? The lawyers eat. The plaintiffs get a token. Sony loses an amount of money they would have spent on coffee for the executive floor, and the customer...
That's some expensive coffee.
Well, I mean, they do want their coffee expensive up there, so...
Except for I'm willing to bet it's not as good as the coffee I drink.
No, of course. Overpriced coffee is the dumbest status symbol thing people pay for.
And no, this isn't an advertisement. I just drink blackout coffee because it's good. And it actually works. because I'm awake right now.
But yeah, $7 million means nothing to them. Absolutely nothing. They probably lose more than that in internal than they do fucking on this fine. So
Customer gets store credit to shop at the store. That just paid out for cooking them. The audacity of this is so I can hear it through the page. Continuing on, this part is for the people whose accounts are dead. Eligible settlement class members with deactivated PSN accounts will be able to contact the case toll-free number 877-779-145. Email info@psndigitalgamesettlement.com and or mail to PSN Digital Game Settlement, P.O. Box 51046, Milwaukee, WI 53217, and provide qualifying purchase information as well as a current address in order to receive monies they may be entitled to under the settlement.
At TheorySabers.com, we're giving away a ton of free sabers right now. 2 free sabers.
Right. So
as much as I love you, Star Wars Theory, we don't want to know about your lightsabers right now. Sorry.
Yeah.
And yes, he is selling lightsabers and giving away some for free because yesterday was May 4th. And today is Revenge of the 5th.
Yeah.
Which we do have Star Wars news to talk about on Revenge of the 5th, so we'll get into that in just a little bit. But let's get through this first. Hopefully without too many more ads.
So if you bought God of War Collection in 2019 and then walked away from PlayStation forever because of, I don't know, the constant DRM panic, the shrinkflation on first-party titles, the price hikes on PS Plus, the removal of the Funimation app, the war on emulation, or just generally Sony being Sony, you have to dial a 1-800 number connected to a PO. Box in Milwaukee and beg in writing for the $4 they overcharged you. You have to do paperwork to get money back from the company that broke the law. Catch that energy. I want everybody listening to catch that. Now,
Anybody else see anything wrong here yet?
Yeah. Yeah. Normally the duty is to the aggressor, not the victim. They're adding duties to the victim's need. The victim basically has to go out of their way to gain recompense from the aggressor, from the assailant.
Yeah.
Because they don't want the assailant to be burdened. Oh, fuck. Burdened with having to refund players they know they fucked over.
Sony PlayStation, everybody.
You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
I mean, it's like stealing something from someone else's property, taking it home with you, getting caught stealing the shit, but having the police say, well, if he wants it, he has to come back and get it from you. We're not going to bring him his stolen shit from you, the thief. We're going to make him come get it from you, the thief, himself.
In other words, Sony, as usual.
Gotcha, bitch!
Yeah. They don't feel bad. They're not sorry. This is dumb.
this is where the absurdity peaks. Watch how the active accounts get paid. The credits will be awarded by direct notification through the email addresses associated with settlement class members' PlayStation accounts. So the active users get PSN credits. Direct deposit, sort of. Except it's not real money. It's a coupon that locks you into the very platform you were getting overcharged on. Imagine if a grocery store got fined for price gouging on milk, and the punishment was issuing the affected customers a gift card that could only...
And all of this reminds me of something.
Yeah.
My birthday's coming up in June, and that's why on my birthday list, I have Crimson Desert for Xbox, a physical copy of it. Yeah, I own a digital copy of it on PlayStation, because I'm an idiot. But at some point, even if I don't get it for my birthday, at some point down the road, I'm going to go buy my own physical copy of it for the other platform because fuck you, Sony. You know, at that point. And when I do that, you'll know because you'll see me streaming it again on Twitch at that point. In other words, I refuse to play the PlayStation version of a game that I purchased at that point.
But yeah, so the thing about this bullshit here with this situation, that again, it costs them nothing to, and then worse. See, it isn't just the victim of the theft has to go to the thief's house to get the shit the thief stole from the victim, but also the thief doesn't really even have to give back the shit that they stole. They're just in return giving you a chance to get stolen from again. What the fuck?
So in other words, whoever is punishing Sony and PlayStation apparently has had a place in the Biden administration.
Yeah, no, it's like we found him guilty of stealing, so as punishment for stealing from you, we decided to force you to leave your doors unlocked. Motherfucker, what? It's like
It's a trap.
it's fucking retarded is what it is. It's like, but look, man, I know Sony's got good lawyers. I mean, because what the fuck is this? Like, this is some wild shit, honestly. If this were a regular legal case, people would be going, what the fuck is wrong with you? They'd be talking to
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
It'd be all over everybody involved in this saying, what the hell is this for justice? This is stupid. This is idiotic from front to back. You don't even care that they violated the law, basically. You don't. You don't give a shit. And you're the regulator. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know, it's like it's the old Chris Farley meme, you know? Where he's yelling, do something, you know?
Yeah. This is what happens when Sony gets caught doing something.
Yeah, no, they lawyer their way out of having to cost themselves anything from wrongdoing.
And Sony's the dog in this clip.
Raymond, this dog has no license and is clearly in violation of the leash law. Call the pound.
I already did, sir. The truck is waiting outside.
Out of my way!
Yeah. Yeah, no, the guy that got punched was the gamer for reporting his wrongdoing.
That's where we're at with PlayStation right now. Anyway, back to the video.
Be redeemed at that grocery store. You'd be losing your mind. You'd be writing your congressman. You'd be on local news. But because it's video games, because it's PSN, everybody just shrugs and says, yeah, okay, that sounds about right. The bar is in hell. Sony is limbo dancing under it. So if you bought your digital copy of Until Dawn directly from the PlayStation Store...
So Sony's hanging out with the devil?
Well, we knew that Sony, you know, hell is where Sony's from, so...
Yeah.
It's their homeland.
Yeah, they're going to be hanging out with Disney and Star Wars soon.
Or congratulations.
More on that later.
You're not in the club. You only count if you bought a code from a Best Buy and redeemed it. The lawyers carved out the absolute minimum slice of customers they needed to make the case work, and Sony walked away from the rest of you.
Did he say the only way you didn't get screwed is if you bought a digital code from Best Buy?
Yeah. Isn't that funny?
Or Target or Walmart or whoever, because they do sell digital codes, at physical retail stores too.
Yeah.
That's funny. And I'll probably lighten up, like, if you bought your digital code like at Target or something, go ahead and screw them that way, because that's fine with me. But for me, I'd rather have the disc, because even if you got the code from like Target, Best Buy, Walmart, whoever, that game is still tied digitally to the console and is still subject to their terms of service anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So who's really laughing there? Sony is at that point. But I digress.
The vast majority of digital purchases on PSN aren't covered. The vast majority of overcharging continues to not be addressed. They threw a dart at a tiny corner of the dartboard and called it justice. And the list of eligible games, God of War Collection, Killzone Shadowfall, Until Dawn, The Last of Us, Little Big Planet 3, NBA 2K18, Star Wars Battlefront, half of these titles are already broken or unsupported on modern PS5 firmware anyway. Sony is all.
That's a good point, too.
Yeah.
Because do you really think that anyone who bought Star Wars Battlefront 2 is going to give a shit that they have that digitally still?
Probably not.
Considering all the controversy when that came out over the loot boxes, that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Offering refunds on games some of you can't even reliably launch anymore. Let's get into the second story. Stop Killing Games, the campaign group seeking to prevent online games being rendered unplayable when publishers shut down their servers, have moved to support a Californian bill that in its current form would require studios to either update games with impending server shutterings to they keep working independently afterwards or provide full refunds. A bill that requires publishers to either patch the game so it works offline or give you your money back. That exists?
So California isn't complete shit.
Well, this is actually one of the only places that California has actually.
In 2020?
It's one of the only places where California has actually tried to be a little bit proactive, is when it comes to consumer protection. A lot of times it's a little overzealous, and a lot of times they end up crushing the willingness of anyone to do business in their state. And they have a lot of problems with zealous regulation, of course. But when it comes to consumer protection on that aspect of it, yes, this is a bright spot for the state of California, a rare L or a rare W, I should say, for the state of California.
I would say that I can count on one hand how many bright spots there are in California then.
Yeah, I know. That's why I call it a rare W, yes.
And I only need 2 fingers for that. This bill, i.e. consumer protection practices in California, and 2, the second thing that's a bright spot in California is Hello Brutiful.
No, I mean, and it's really just a basic principle. If you're going to charge someone money, you're going to get something so permanent as physical wealth from them for a product. That product should have to at least serve its purpose and last, and not have some artificial expiration date or have some way of being taken away from the customer who paid good money for it.
And if this guy that we're watching here is from California, well, then that's 3 bright spots then.
And it's somewhat making a video game more of a durable good, which, fuck, it should be a durable good. Why isn't it? What they took video games from being a durable good, which is what they used to be, to being a non-durable good and intangible.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's definitely I'm definitely okay with them being made to say, okay, if we're gonna shut down our online servers, we need to convert this to an offline game so people keep playing the game they pay good fucking money to play. Yeah,
Or
very simple principle, honestly.
Or give them like half their money back because they played it for however many years.
No, and by the way, the reaction that the gaming industry would have to this, by the way, in California is they'll just stop making games or operating servers in California.
Yeah,
right? That's what they'll do.
Then they'll stop allowing online games there. Then
wouldn't that be a crazy development?
Then you and I would have to go back to what we remember gaming to be. buy a game, take it home, play it. Internet's out. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
I'm going to play my game. There's no internet. I don't care. I'm going to keep playing my game.
Yeah, offline version. Yay, who cares? Yeah.
Yeah. Like my original Xbox that's still working that I bought brand new at Target back in 2007 or whenever it was. Out in the living room playing college football 08, which doesn't need the internet at all.
And all of this basically falls under the banner of the gaming industry going into convulsions over having to give their customer what they fucking paid for. You know, I mean, kind of crazy.
So it sounds to me like the law is going to be catching up to the gaming industry sooner than we thought, right?
Well, I certainly hope so. I mean, and these, somewhat. I mean, these are obviously greedy negative developments in some regards, but also positive developments in other regards.
Because I was honestly expecting it by the time I turned like 60 years old. At the soonest.
I mean, we don't get to see industries kept accountable. Now. We don't get to see major industries kept accountable very often. We don't get to see that.
It sounds like this may happen like in the next 5 years.
Yeah, I do hope that honesty and business ethics can filter into the gaming industry once again.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's being run by, woke fucksticks, and they're terrible at ethics. So
well, a lot of them have left recently due to cutbacks.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying it's still being run by people who are, nostalgic for a period that never even existed in the first place.
And they also want to attract an audience that doesn't exist in the first place, the modern audience.
Yeah, that too. And then, again, the biggest problem I have with the modern gaming industry, honestly, is just how much fucking money they charge for an incomplete, broken-ass piece of shit game. I mean, really. They charge 2 to 3 times, even 4 times as much as they used to charge for fully complete games.
Yeah.
And now we're getting broken, pay as a game as a service, little bits and pieces, 27 DLCs, shit like that.
Yeah. The modern gaming industry that we know today charges more money for Call of Duty today than they did for Sly Cooper on the PlayStation 2.
Yep.
In other words,
stop breaking the law, asshole!
It's more like stop squeezing the shit out of the poor customer, asshole.
Well, I don't have that as a clip because all I have is what you gave me.
Yeah, I know. And there's nobody's ever said what I just said, but
well, one person has you just a minute ago.
But the point here is that it's not hard to be ethical. It's not hard to give people what they paid for. It's not that hard. It doesn't have to be a contest of who can fuck their customer the most, which is what it's become these last couple of years.
In other words, who can lose more customers the quickest?
Yeah, or who can convince their customer that it's okay that they get fucked in the ass every time they make a purchase. And the most deceptive marketing wins, basically. And that's their whole game lately.
If only we could play the clip of George Carlin talking about marketing.
Yeah, I know. Servicing the account. Yes.
Yes, indeed. Back to the video.
26? Excuse me while I sit on the floor for a second, because I've been waiting 15 years for somebody in any government anywhere to write that sentence into law. The Stop Killing Games movement, the same one Ross Scott has been screaming into the void about since the original crew got bricked, has actually gotten a real legislator in California to put pen to paper. We are this close to a real consumer right. Next, the Californian legislation cited in Stop Killing Games' latest progress update on Reddit is dubbed the Protect Our Games Act and was initially put forward by...
I support that act.
Yeah.
So if you live in California and you can, and if you have a say in Protect Our Games Act, I'm looking at you, Hello Brutiful.
Yeah,
please say something.
Can we spread that across the rest of the country, please? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Or make it a federal act. That would be fine too.
President Trump.
Yeah, he does like doing things game related, doesn't he? But
well, I do know one person in his family who has his ear to the ground when it comes to nerd culture.
Yeah.
Baron.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Baron. Show this to Pops, huh?
Baron needs to let Trump know that
his dad know that
the gaming industry's got some disethical people going on here.
Yeah. Trump needs to know about this because I've had my issues with Trump over the gaming industry in the past. But if Trump puts his weight behind the Protect Our Games Act, I'm going to go, I have no issues with Trump whatsoever now. Period.
It would be a positive.
At that point.
It would be a positive.
Yeah.
Chris Ward, a member of California's State Assembly in February this year. Chris Ward, remember that name, and remember that California is the 4th largest economy in the world, which means whatever passes in Sacramento ends up applying everywhere a publisher does business, because it's cheaper to comply globally than to maintain 2 versions of your shutdown policy. This is the same dynamic that made every checkout button on Steam suddenly say you're buying a license, not a product, overnight last year. One California law, one global rewrite. That's the lever we're working with here. It's why this matters, even if you don't live in San Diego. Quote on what the bill actually does, lifted from Ward's site. Requires companies that sell server-connected video games to notify consumers before ending support and to provide clear information about how the game will function once it reaches end of life. The bill also prohibits companies from selling the game within 2 months of its end of life date and requires them to either replace the game or provide a plan allowing users to continue running it after support ends. Listen to how basic.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we are asking for ever as gamers. Ever.
Yeah. To get to keep what we fucking pay for. Yeah. It sounds it's so simple when you say it like that, but they find it so hard to comply with.
That's all we want. A game that we bought, let's say yesterday, on May 4th of 2026, that has online functionality when it came out, let's say yesterday. And if it's a really great game and we love playing it, we want to keep playing that game till we're 100 years old, if possible. That's all we want, to keep playing the game you sold to us, if we like it that much, i.e. Skyrim, for me.
Yep.
And less so for you these days, right?
Oh no, I haven't touched Skyrim in quite a while at this point. Yeah,
I've been playing it for the last 4 days with a new character.
I think the last time I played, it's got to be. I think it was 2015 last time I played Skyrim. Yeah.
And before anybody in the comments or whatever asks, yes, it is with mods.
Of course. Why not? Why wouldn't it be at this point?
Because that's the only way to play it, unless you are playing it for the first time this year, which I've seen some people on YouTube doing. And to them, I just want to reach through the TV, take the controller, and say to them, how old are you? You were old enough to play games in 2011? You're an idiot. Keep playing. You know?
Yeah.
No offense to anyone who just bought Skyrim recently. But I'm just saying, you only just discovered it? Where the hell have you been for the last...
Yeah, you'd have to be a newcomer or you'd have to be a youngling. There's no way you could be, a veteran gamer who never touched Skyrim. Like,
because I also know gamers your age, bro, who don't know what Gunslinger and Pitfall are.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's, I mean, it was before their time, so I mean, I guess there's an understanding that unless they went back and played old games, they wouldn't have ever played it. So,
don't you mean that was before your time?
No, I know that's what you were talking about. Gamers my age that hadn't played it, and I was like, well, yeah, unless they went back and played it, they would have never played it because it was out of rotation before they were even born.
Because I played those games like years after they came out with our uncle when I was 3 years old. I'll be 42 in June. That means for 39 years, I've been playing video games then. For almost 4 decades. 2027 will be 4 decades.
Yeah.
Anyway.
This is. Tell people before you kill the game. Don't sell the game in its last 60 days when you already know it's dying. Either patch it to work offline or refund the people you already cooked. And the fact that this is somehow controversial in any way is the most damning thing you can possibly say about the modern game industry.
If some people think that is controversial of an opinion, bro.
Oh, it's too much of a burden for them to give the customer what they paid for. The fuck?
Well, it's too much of a burden for us, the developer and the publisher, to give you what you paid for, not broken, functional, as you expected it.
You serious?
Yeah.
Yes, they are serious.
It's just amazing that, I mean, nobody else in any other industry suffers this heavy burden like the gaming industry pretends they suffer it, having to give the customer what they fucking paid for. I mean, it'd be like a grocery store that doesn't want you to actually eat the food you bought from the store, but they want you to, return it so that they can sell to someone else.
Even though you've half eaten it.
No, I'm just saying, they don't want you to eat it. You don't get to eat it. You get to buy it, you get to have it for a little while, and then you have to return the food to the store. That's the equivalent of that. How nonsensical is that? Like, can you not just let the customer keep what they paid for? Can you not try to help the customer get the value for the product they bought? Yeah, it's just a matter of I mean, I fail to see how I fail to see how it's much of a burden, honestly. I fail to see it. It's like you have a dev team, you have people working on updates, you have you're running a server right now. Just transfer the money that you would have put into continuing to run the server into updating the game as a offline game.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. If you don't have, you're basically telling me that they squander so much of the revenue that they get from games that they operate that they can't afford to offline a game. I mean, come on.
Yeah. If they can't afford it, yeah, there's only one response to that.
Bullshit. I got an idea, crazy idea. How about if it's such a burden to worry about offlining it when it's dying, how about we have a protocol that says you have to create an offline version when you develop a game? I know, revolutionary idea, right?
Damn!
So that you don't have to go back and develop it later. You can just release the offline version.
Sounds good to me. Back to the video.
The principle being violated here before any law existed was just basic honesty in selling a product. You sold somebody something. You took their money. They expected to be able to use the thing. Now you're killing the thing. The bare minimum is telling them and not charging new people for the same product on its way out. The text of the bill itself, which I went and read because I have problems, a version of the digital game that can be used by the purchaser independent of services controlled by the operator. A patch or update to the purchaser's version of the digital game that enables its continued use independent of services controlled by the operator, and or a refund in an amount equal to the full purchase price paid for the digital game by the purchaser. That third option is what publishers are absolutely losing their minds over. Full refund, not prorated, not minus playtime, the full purchase price. $60 back to the consumer
70 now.
if you can't find a way to make the game.
And in some cases, 80 or $150.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, WWE 2K26, with the 150 thing.
Work without your servers. This is why the
Could you imagine once like WWE 2K28 comes out, no one bought 7 or 8, and 26
Yeah.
the servers get shut down, then suddenly anyone who paid $150 for the complete version of that game gets their $150 back?
Yeah.
Or in my case, I get my $9 back plus the Microsoft points.
It serves them right for charging that much for a fucking game like that.
So therefore, I could use like the 100 and whatever or 140 odd some bucks, give or take, in Microsoft points towards a whole bunch of other fucking games at that point.
If it leads to game developers charging a lot less money for releases, then so be it. I don't see downside there.
Well, there's also the indie games that don't charge this regularly the same price as the AAA gaming industry either. So there's that.
Yep.
Oh, good. My keyboard's finally done charging.
There are some indie developers who just want the notoriety. They just want the exposure. They don't give a shit about the dollars.
So it just plugged in no more finally.
And frankly, AAA studios have been fucking up for years now, producing broken-ass, barely playable games for top-tier pricing. So
we've been covering that for a long time now, too.
Uh-huh.
Back to the video.
The Entertainment Software Association is in lobbying mode right now. This is why the But They're a Business crowd is going to flood the comments on this video. Cool. Nestle is a business too. Boeing's a business. It's a business doesn't mean you get to take money for a product you plan to remotely brick. It also requires publishers shutting down servers.
And might I add, you shouldn't be allowed to take money for a game that you know is broken at launch, unplayable, and you don't have any intent to actually fix it in a timely manner.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry,
Yeah,
I had something in my throat there.
We still have of course, the remaining problem is of developers producing games that are not worth the price that they're charging. That is a separate issue, I figure. But taking away the game entirely from the gamer who paid for it, as taking away something that the person paid for.
For a game to send out a notice to players both in-game and via the company's website 60 days before the game goes offline. 60 days notice in-game and on the website.
Watch what sex does to your prostate.
If you have a swollen prostate and can't sleep at night because...
So no more, hey, by the way, we sent an email. To your old address that you haven't checked since 2019. The servers are off. Hope you backed up your saves. Bye. None of that. Direct in-game messaging. The screen tells you 2 months out with specifics on what'll be lost and what your options are. That's how every single one of these shutdowns should have been handled the entire time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, it's just basic ethics. Try and give a shit about the customer, for Christ's sake. What are these companies even thinking? Just being like, well, we're gonna sweep the rug out from underneath them, and well, whatever. Who cares? Fuck them. And they think that's what business ethics means. To just say, oh well, fuck them.
The fact that we needed legislation to require basic communication tells you exactly how publishers were treating customers for the last decade. The Entertainment Software Association, ESA, opposes the bill. ESA's key arguments: 1. The previous law clarifying the license versus ownership distinction should be sufficient for consumer awareness. 2. Forcing support changes at end-of-life places too much of a burden on companies. You see this? You see what they're doing? They're saying, we already told them they don't really own the games, so it's their fault for buying anyway. That's the argument.
Yeah, I can't hear you if you're talking, bro. Your mic's quiet on my end.
Oh. My mic was accidentally muted.
Yeah, I was gonna say you seemed muted there for a minute.
So they're blaming us.
Of course, yes. It's your fault for buying from us.
And this is why I said earlier, Sony and PlayStation have declared war on their customers, i.e. gamers. So fine, then I declare war back by way of on digital game purchases. In other words, as I said earlier, any new game I get going forward is either going to be played from Game Pass or I am going to buy it physically, period. No questions asked.
Yeah, no, this is literally the gaming industry saying it's too much of a burden to give the customer what they paid for. It's too much. We can't do it.
And therefore, I'm not buying any first-party stuff from PlayStation, period. Which means most of my stuff is going to be played on Xbox going forward. And if I do own it digitally on PlayStation, guess what? When I'm able to financially, I'm going to rebuy whatever game, but physically on a different platform. And then I'll continue playing that stuff on stream if I have it for PlayStation. That's MLB The Show, Crimson Desert, pretty much anything. I already have No Man's Sky for Xbox, so whatever. And I already have Madden and college football for Xbox anyway, so whatever, you know. Yep. And then Minecraft. I had that digitally on Xbox One at the time.
Yeah.
And I still have it for the Series X because smart delivery was a thing.
Yeah, but the Minecraft devs would never be so unethical to do shit like this. I mean, to bellyache about it anyway.
Yeah.
And frankly, Minecraft would be a super easy game to offline.
Mm-hmm.
It would be really easy to do.
There's already an offline mode to it.
No, I know. There already is an offline mode to it. I'm just saying, if they wanted to offline realms, for instance, you know, so that people can continue playing in their realms without the server service, there's an easy way for players to do that already built in. So, hooray. They are ethical developers. See how hard it isn't? Do you see how hard it isn't?
That would be Mojang.
Yeah, Mojang, yes.
Whatever.
I just telling the rest of the gaming industry, do you guys see how hard it isn't to be ethical?
You're talking crazy, man. Let's get back to the video.
Whole defense is, we put it in the fine print, you signed it, eat it. That's the position the entire trade association is taking on the record. And then the second argument is, having to give people a working product is too hard for us. Multi-billion-dollar publishers with thousands of engineers on payroll claiming that adding an offline mode is an unreasonable burden. Meanwhile, a single guy on a forum reverse engineered the Cruise server in his bedroom in like 4 months. Don't tell me it can't be done. Tell me you don't want to spend the money. There's a difference, and the difference is worth saying out.
Here's the thing. Picture this. A game comes out, has online mode, and that's pretty much it, right?
Yep.
Then the developer invests the money when they are knowing that they're going to be sunsetting the servers of it and moving on and not updating the game or anything. They update it at the time of the servers going off permanently to a single player game. Guess what they're going to get out of that? People are going to buy the game that didn't then.
Yeah,
you're gonna make more money for the investment that you put in turning it to an offline thing.
And you'll have continual legacy sales of the offline version that will continue in perpetuity.
And then gamers will see that and then go, okay, whatever your next game is, I don't care. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna buy it.
I mean, there's millions upon millions of us who don't need to be in an online game. We were growing up with offline games. We grew up with first player, one player games. We grew up with games that didn't need an internet connection. This is a new thing. We will live.
We also grew up with split screen co-op, which has also largely been removed.
And not just we will live, we would enjoy that. Many of us.
Yeah.
We would actually pay for that experience from certain games.
I would buy a game, you would come over, mom and your girlfriend would talk or whatever, and you and I would play whatever game on the couch together.
There is a lot of games that are currently online service games that would absolutely be incredibly, wonderfully enjoyable offline.
Yeah.
In fact, almost in some cases better than the online version.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the online shit is just drama, PvP shitting on people, and toxicity.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't see the downside. I don't even see the monetary downside of doing this.
Yeah, because doing this will be goodwill for gamers. They'll want to buy your next game. And then anyone who didn't buy that game because they didn't want to play it online will see that now it's an offline single-player experience. At the end of its online lifespan, will go, and now I'll get a copy.
And in order to continue to make more money on a game they're no longer servicing at all in perpetuity.
That's just bonus money that you weren't counting on.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like, why would you turn down an opportunity to make money in perpetuity not having to do anything to the game anymore? Like, that... It sounds like a no-brainer. You don't have to pay anyone. You don't have to pay anyone anything to get money from gamers for versions of the game at that point. It just has to exist on your store offerings and be allowed to be either downloaded or a copy be able to be purchased one way or another. And the gamer will do that. We will do that. We will buy offline games. We will do that. We've done that in the past. So I don't see the downside on that for them. That could actually be a boon in some cases to their bottom line.
When did you and I become business experts?
Well, they're not thinking. They're thinking, oh, well, we're going to have to invest additional money in a dead end. It's like, yeah, but it's not a dead end. It's not a dead end for you.
Because it seems like you and I could run Sony and PlayStation hell of a lot better than them. In other words,
they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Yeah, and they think they're sinking money into a pit, and it's not a pit. It's an investment for the long-term future of people enjoying your game. It's what it is.
Well, it really isn't just PlayStation. It's also Xbox. It's also Nintendo. It's also
no. I know this concept,
everybody.
This concept applies to the whole industry.
Yeah, but still, I'm still pissed at PlayStation. So they're still in my drop zone.
Well, yeah, because of the settlement bullshit. That was the other part of this story.
Yeah, But let's get back to the video here.
Out loud. The legitimate concern, to be fair to the opposition, the bill has no carve-out for pre-existing games. Every back catalog title still for sale in January 2027 would fall under this law. Okay, this one's real. If you've got a back catalog of 200 online dependent games from the last decade, and the law says you...
That's most of everybody.
Yeah, that's a lot of titles and a lot of developers.
And
every single console.
And a lot of gamers.
And a lot of gamers, yes. A lot of us, yes.
Not just the ones who are young enough to only know this is gaming. The ones also old enough, like me, who know the Atari 2600.
Mm-hmm.
And older.
You have to either patch all of them or refund all of them by 2027. That's a genuine logistical nightmare. So a phase-in might make sense. Maybe games sold after the law passes only. Maybe a 5-year runway for back catalog. There's room to negotiate without gutting the bill. But Stop Killing Games has the right counter. If developers plan for a game's end of life from the very beginning of development, the cost and technical challenges would be minimal.
That's a great point.
Yeah, like I had stated, if they just build an offline version when they're developing the game, this won't be an issue for them at all.
Mm-hmm.
They won't have a burden later on when they're shutting down their server. They'll just be like, all right, we're transitioning to the offline version. That's all you're going to have. That's all, folks. And, close the curtain.
Mm-hmm.
For it from day one. Build the offline.
Imagine Elder Scrolls Online after server shutdown is just another offline Elder Scrolls game.
Uh-huh.
Would that not be awesome?
Oh, no. I mean, Elder Scrolls, I could see Elder Scrolls Online being a pretty decent offline game, too.
Mm-hmm.
But they would have to alter some things in the game because playing with other players in certain parts of it is necessary. They would have to eliminate the dungeons and trials concept entirely because they cannot be soloed.
Or you add a shit ton of options for companions or followers. Yeah. Like Skyrim. Anyway.
Yeah, or that. Yeah, possibly.
Anyway.
Fallback into the architecture. It's not impossible. Plenty of MMOs have done it as private server projects after the fact, and those guys had to reverse engineer the entire stack with no documentation. The reason publishers don't do it isn't that they can't. It's that planning for end of life would force them to admit in their own internal documents that the game has an end of life, and admitting that in writing makes it harder to sell a live forever experience to investors and shareholders. The lie that live service games are eternal is too valuable to disturb, so they don't disturb it. They just kill the game when it stops printing money and let the customer absorb the loss. The console versions of GEM are being...
Yeah, that's the thing. They'll just let it stop printing money instead of making a way for it to print more money after they're done interacting with it.
Yeah, they don't see the benefit, and it's stupid because there is the benefit there.
Yes, there is. For both gamers and for them.
Mm-hmm.
The gamers will keep playing. People that haven't played it will buy it.
Getting money for nothing is what they want in the first place, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, getting money for nothing is what they want.
They keep screwing with us every chance they get.
And so offlining a game is a way to get money for nothing. If you've already offlined it, you're going to keep getting money for nothing at that point after that.
Yeah.
Being delisted and their online functionality removed in May, while the PC version remains. So if you bought it on Xbox or PlayStation, you're cooked. But PC players are fine because Steam basically doesn't let you yank a game's online functionality without screaming. Steam's not perfect, but at least there's institutional resistance. On console, it's the platform holder's call, and Sony in particular has spent the last 3 years finding new and creative ways to make digital purchases feel less and less like ownership. The DRM check timer panic, the PS Plus catalog rotation, the delisted PSN games, the fact that they got hit with a...
And it's not just PlayStation that's done the delisting thing. That's also been Xbox, too.
Uh-huh.
And Nintendo.
Yep.
So all three major console platforms are all guilty of this.
Yep.
$7.85 million antitrust settlement in the same news cycle that this bill is moving through committee is the funniest possible cosmic alignment. 2 stories on the same page of the gaming news cycle. PlayStation pays a wrist slap for monopolizing their store, and meanwhile, California is drafting a bill that would force Sony to actually preserve the games they sell. The universe has a sense of humor.
Yeah. God indeed does have a sense of humor.
It might be even what we call a suspicious coincidence.
I'm just going to stick with what I said because it sounds good. God has a sense of humor. Because he does.
Although I wouldn't make too much inroads in saying the California legislature is having anything to do with God. But, that's just
no. But usually when I can't explain it, I usually turn to God for answers.
I mean, if God has an influence on the California legislature, he should really get to work on a lot of other fucking obvious things.
Like the rest of everything going on in California.
Like the rest of everything else California does wrong and
which is
horribly.
Everything else.
Yeah.
So put it all together. Sony pays a slap on the wrist settlement and store credit for monopolizing their own marketplace. California is on the verge of forcing every publisher to actually preserve or refund games when they shut servers. Ubisoft, the worst offender of all of them, just blinked and patched the Crew 2 because the EU was about to put a foot up their executive.
Yeah.
And there's that today as well for news. The Crew 2 is now going to be playable offline.
Yeah.
So shout out to Stop Killing Games for pushing against that. Bro.
Yeah, and again, this is also one thing that we could say also about the EU. Same deal, same situation. Usually they are horribly retarded and making everything worse.
Yeah, like with the photo ID thing and all that shit.
But in this regard, they were trying to keep Ubisoft honest.
For once. Yeah, a corrupt government keeping somebody else honest.
Yeah. It's the crumbs that are. It's the crumbs we didn't ask for, but we have to point out.
Again, I say a corrupt government keeping the gaming industry honest.
It's a trap.
I don't know. It's just par for the course right now, I guess.
The pressure is working. The pressure is the only thing that's ever worked. And the second we let up on it, the second we let any of these settlements or bills slide through with weak teeth or carved out exemptions, the publishers go right back to running the same playbook. Kill the game, pocket the money, issue a press release about a strategic realignment. Move on to the next one. Same script every cycle for 20 years. If you bought a game...
It's been longer than that at this point.
Yeah, well, ever since online games were a thing.
Yeah, that would be the Xbox 360 and maybe even the Xbox One era.
Yeah, or the PS2 era where they introduced...
which is also the original Xbox.
They introduced the concept in the PS2 era. Yeah.
Yeah. And the OG Xbox introduced it, even though we didn't do online until Xbox One.
Yeah. The original Xbox, I think.
PS4 for us.
So, yeah, we're past the 20-year mark on this.
Yeah.
You should be able to play it. That's the moral line. There is no version of, but the servers cost money. or but we have a fiduciary duty to shareholders, or but it's just a license that gets you around it. You sold a thing, honor the thing, and if you can't, give the money back. It's not complicated. It's never been complicated. The only reason it took a citizens' initiative in the European Parliament, a bill in the California State Assembly, and a federal antitrust class action all happening simultaneously to even start a conversation about it is because publishers spent 2 decades hoping nobody would notice.
Connection isn't just physical, it's mental too. And that's
Shut up about your dick pills.
Yeah, and
Maddie
and
here.
so
Okay,
that's
okay, shut up, Maddie.
so
We're not here to watch them.
the sum total is that these otherwise completely fucked institutions like California legislature and the EU are still capable of offering actually valid and good consumer protection laws. And that's about all they're good for. But the gaming industry convulsing in their bed at night about having to comply with giving the customer what they paid for. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's just so typical of this type of industry. It's so typical and sad.
So, long story short, here in the underground, we support the bill that's going through California right now, involving the gaming industry at this point. On another note, time to talk about Star Wars for the first time in I don't know how long here on the channel.
It's on that note, by the way, I would say it's just sad that we never got legislation involving loot boxes and gambling. And
it was going that way and then fell off a cliff. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It was going that way, and then what happened? Not a fucking thing.
So, with that being said, time to talk about Star Wars. So, you know what that means, bro?
Sure.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
So, according to reports from WDW Pro and what's the name of this site? Fat Park Place.
Yeah.
Disney executives not happy with Star Wars, apparently. Let me clear my throat for this. You're 20 fucking years late. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. And rumor, apparently, they want to redo whatever.
They want to decanonize the sequel trilogy. And I don't blame them whatsoever. I never wanted them to create the damn thing.
Let me go look on YouTube because I swear that I've heard someone talk about that before.
Well, I mean, this was something that Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers posted about yesterday.
Well,
he also discussed it too.
Well, he's been talking about that for years, though.
No, I know, but he tweeted about it specifically yesterday.
And somebody else, I'm sure, has talked about it for years as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, ever since they created the sequel trilogy, I've wanted the shit deleted.
But there's a video from actually two guys that I'm looking for here because I know that they've talked about. Yes, here it is. So I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see. This video was from 5 years ago. These two guys were talking about decanonizing the sequel trilogy.
Yep.
And I think you may recognize these guys, folks, watching in the comment section. Yes, it was us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We have discussed this for a long time.
And
Ever
this
since we had to suffer watching the fucking...
and this was also when a friend of mine, whom I know from Minnesota, was also on the channel with us still.
Yeah.
It was that long ago.
Yeah, it was that long ago. Decanonization of that sequel trilogy is something we've wanted ever since we had to suffer watching it in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think that Disney would ever come to a place where they were even discussing that concept. Because, I mean, when you're driving off a cliff, you tend to do that shit deliberately. In the case of content creation, driving off a cliff content-wise is a deliberate act. It's not an accident. They didn't accidentally create the sequel trilogy and go, oh shit, what did we do? No, it got so bad and so creatively bankrupt and so devoid of anything actually Star Wars related that even mainstream critics were like, what the fuck is this? Even mainstream critics were looking at the rise of Skywalker going, what the fuck is this movie? What even is this?
Yes.
Like, we, even as woke ass retards, we still don't understand what's going on here.
So if Disney's executives are hell-bent on redoing the sequel trilogy, I know that they are 10 years at least too fucking late to do that.
Yeah. I mean, what are they going to use? AI to fix it? I mean, what?
Because Carrie Fisher's dead. Harrison Ford's never going to do Star Wars again now.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't like Mark Hamill anymore.
I mean, honestly, I don't think that the agencies for those stars or the families of the deceased in the case of Carrie Fisher would even allow them to use their likeness for a redo.
So with what's the word that the gaming industry uses for redoing a popular IP but making a new one?
Remaster?
No, there's another word for it. Like with Fable.
Okay. A reboot?
Reboot, that's it.
Yeah.
So if they're hell bent on, if this is true, rebooting Star Wars, good luck with it without Han Solo, without Princess Leia, without Chewbacca, because the actor playing Chewbacca's gone too.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Mayhew.
Yeah.
He's gone. Carrie Fisher, no Princess Leia. She's gone.
Now, see, in the case of Chewbacca, though, it's easier to do Chewbacca. And the reason it's easier to do Chewbacca is because the voice sounds can be emulated. And there's been many other Wookiees that they've done that weren't, associated with, a human voice or a human character, a guy in a suit. So, Chewbacca, they could pull off with the digital recreation. They could do that.
Fine, but
they can't do it with the human characters.
Yeah, so with that, there's only one direction they can go with this. They have to go farther into the future after Luke, Han, Leia are all dead.
Or far into the past, into stories we wanted them to make movies of that they never did.
Like the Old Republic with Revan.
Yes, with Revan, yes. We always... For just as many years as we've hated the sequel trilogy, we've also wanted them to hire Keanu Reeves to play Revan.
Mm-hmm. You and I have been pitching that here on YouTube since
we started making fucking YouTube videos, pretty much.
About Star Wars, yeah. So since around the time of The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
So that's been far more than 10 years at this point.
There's so much content in the old Republic storyline. It's kind of amazing they never did make a film out of any of it.
And with that, I've also been trying to pitch as Bastila, Gina Carano, lately.
Well, sure. I mean, there's plenty of actresses that could pull off Bastila. And there's plenty of... technically, there's plenty of actors who could pull off Revan, too. But I just think we always just thought it would be quaint and sort of perfect if it was Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, because I picture Revan being a Star Wars version of John Wick.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, it's a similar character arc.
Yeah, so Keanu Reeves would be fine for that because he did a great John Wick.
Oh, yeah. Well, he is John Wick practically.
Well, yeah.
Nobody else could play that role. Nobody else could pull that off. We all know that.
Yeah. Kind of like Sean Connery was James Bond, period.
Well, I mean, Bond had a couple of different, versions that were okay.
Yeah, but
Connery was great, but he wasn't the only great one.
No, but he was the best.
Yeah. But the thing here is that there's so much content that the owners of Star Wars could create if they just bring in a couple of actual fans, for Christ's sake. Bring in a couple of actual Star Wars fans to create a Star Wars flick.
What?
Yeah, well, there's Lucas, obviously, but Lucas, to be honest with you, bro, the best stories of Star Wars actually weren't really even created. The best stories that have not yet been told weren't even created by George Lucas, to be honest with you.
True, but I still would have loved to have seen the George Lucas treatment released.
No,
the same treatment that Disney took a paper shredder to when they bought fucking Star Wars.
Honestly, it's the same deal when J.R.R. Tolkien wasn't around anymore. It was inevitable that somebody was going to start making dog shit Lord of the Rings stuff.
Yeah.
It's just the regular inspiration is like you can either be faithful or you can fuck it up. Those are your choices. Be faithful or fuck it up.
But in the case
Disney
of Tolkien,
has been nothing but fucking it up.
But in the case of Tolkien, he's no longer with us, correct?
No, of course not. Of course, he's long gone. But the spirit would still be there among many fans.
But George Lucas is still with us. That's all I'm saying.
Obviously, reading the body of work, and then you get Kathleen Kennedy to come along and say, "There's nothing to go by." My jaw hit the fucking floor. I was like, "What do you mean? There's nothing to go by? We had to create our own thing because there was nothing to go by." Are you just
when she
honestly?
said when she said that, my brain automatically went into unfiltered mode and simply yelled at the screen,
"Bullshit!" I couldn't believe my fucking ears when I heard her say that.
Yeah.
It's one of the, I mean, in the annals of bullshitting, gaslighting, stupid lies, it's gotta be top 5 of all fucking time. Among every human that has ever lived, that bullshit statement from her has got to be the biggest fucking lie that has ever been told in modern media.
Mm-hmm.
And it just blew my mind that she had the just iron nutsack to say such a thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe just the insane ignorance to say such a thing. I don't know what it is. Was it brazen? Was it ballsy? Was it arrogance? What the fuck was it when she said that? I don't even know. But it was ridiculous.
All of the above.
I don't know what place she was coming from when she said that shit. Like, I guess arrogance or just ignorance. Again, that's the best I can come up with to explain her fucking insanity with saying that. I mean, she's talking about a IP that has so fucking much written bodies of work that don't even include the 6, movies that existed at the time. And the 9 movies now. There's so much more that has never been put to film that she's up there pretending doesn't even exist.
We have a special message here from Kathleen Kennedy's agent.
And so to the point here, to the point about this particular news bit about decanonizing the concept of decanonizing the sequel trilogy and trying to start over or do something completely different. which again we would have done to begin with. We could have told them if when they were creating The Force Awakens or The Last Jedi, if they'd come to the community of Star Wars fans and said, "Hey guys, what ideas do you think we should do for this?" 100% every single person in the fan community could have come up with a better story than this fucking mind fuck that Disney came up with.
If they had said that to me, I would have said, here's a stack of Star Wars books that you call legends, we call the expanded universe. Read them.
Yeah. Again, with the Chris Farley meme, for the love of God, can we get someone in charge of this shit that cares about it, that knows anything, that even likes this fucking IP? Can we get anyone in charge of it that likes it, that knows it, that read anything outside of, oh, I saw the movies in the 1970s when I was a kid, and it's just been a family business ever since then that I was a part of? No. Okay, Kathleen, you are a narcissistic psychopath if you don't think there was any content to go on when writing the sequel trilogy. It's literally that level for me. It's narcissistic psychopathic behavior for her to have posited that notion that they had to create new shit because there was just nothing to go by.
So,
and then what they created was like a complete middle finger to the entire fan base. They couldn't bring in fans. They asked no one. They just winged it, and it came out as a complete dumpster fire of dog shit.
So with that said, my expectation for a rebooted Star Wars under Disney, no faith whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I mean, they owe me some faith. I'm in negative faith territory on this one.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. That's why we are the underground.
They owe us a metric fuck ton of goodwill. They need to come out and make a statement and say, look, we fucked up. That sequel trilogy's dog shit. We're pushing it to the side. We're starting over. We're bringing in real Star Wars fans. We are going to make this right. We're going to make something you want to go see, and we're going to fix this shit. If they don't say those exact words in that exact order, I don't want to fucking hear it.
I know one Star Wars fan that absolutely has to work on a real sequel trilogy, and that will get me going, okay, I'm paying attention.
Yeah.
Star Wars theory.
Well, no, I mean, again, and he's the type of person I'm talking about. He's the type of person who they could bring in, and he would be an understanding of the expanded universe. He would be understanding of the spirit of the originals. He would be understanding of what an actual Star Wars fan wants to fucking see, wants to see happen on the screen.
Yeah, and because he has been a lifelong Star Wars fan, just like us.
Yeah, and there's millions of us who do have a good understanding of what we should want to see or what other fans would want to see on the screen in a Star Wars film. We all have this understanding. It's just a select few head dumbasses there who are never actually Star Wars fans and are just, I don't know, self-aggrandizing narcissists like Kathleen Kennedy, who couldn't see past their own face to even ask the fans what they wanted to see, even sample an audience, for Christ's sake. Just, pre-screen an idea. Just have a think group, for Christ's sake. Bring in a test group of Star Wars fans to ask them, hey, what ideas would you want to see? What do you like? What is your favorite concept that you think would be awesome in a Star Wars film? No, they didn't do any of that. They did none of that.
Yeah.
They just brought in a bunch of self-absorbed wokeists and feminists and modern story writers who don't write anything but garbage to write it. And then they brought in fucking a bunch of directors, and he who I don't like naming to fuck it all up, to just completely, I don't know, take a dump on a bunch of film and call it a film.
Wasn't his name Dick Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan Johnson.
I thought you said you didn't want to say his name.
I know. I said he whose name I don't enjoy saying.
Well, that's why I said Dick Ryan.
but anyway, there was just so much ill will there, and I I don't actually even know if it can be fixed. Even if something like this rumor of them wanting to decanonize, even if it was completely true, and inside the walls over at Disney, they were running around with their hair on fire, tearing it out, trying to figure out what to do about this. Even if that was true, I still don't have enough positive goodwill towards them to take their word for anything. I mean, I would literally need to see a publicly posted video directly from them bringing in people who actually like Star Wars to fucking do this, to start over, to fix this shit. I would need to see that at minimum for me to even think they were going in the right direction. And yeah, decanonizing the sequel trilogy is like step one, because sitting there saying it's good and great and Star Wars is still, you know, hot when it's a fucking dumpster fire, that's not the kind of hot you want. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of the people who didn't immediately rage about what happened, you know, like back in 2016. I wasn't immediately outraged, but over the course of the, you know, next couple years after that, it really started to set in with me just how much they were actively and in some cases deliberately destroying it.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, we do have a similar situation with the Lord of the Rings too, but not to this extent. Like they haven't fully killed the Lord of the Rings yet. I guess they're still working on it with Stephen Colbert's help. But Star Wars has been brutally murdered. Like it's as dead as I could have ever fathomed it ever being.
So, here's a trick question for you, I think. Maybe.
Yeah.
Which is in bigger trouble at this point? Star Wars or the gaming industry?
Well, Star Wars is, like I said, it's as dead as I could have ever imagined it being. If you had gone to me in like 2010 and say, hey, just so you know, Star Wars is by 2026, Star Wars is going to be completely forgettable, completely dead, completely ruined, completely culturally relevant, and so bad that even the creators of the sequel trilogy, which I would cringe at the phrase of, want to pretend that never happened. Like if someone told me that, I would have went, wow, that's a crash and burn. I would be like almost speechless. I'd be like, wow, so it's just going to fall from grace then? It's just going to become a pile of dumpster fire dog shit? How are they going to fuck it up that bad? How are they going to burn up all this goodwill? How are they going to turn a multi-billion-dollar IP into nothingness? How are they going to do that? I mean, like, I would be wondering just how they would even pull that off. But having watched it happen, now I know they had to work very hard and take a lot of years worth of effort to actually kill it this much and kill it this badly. But they definitely did.
Yeah. If you ask me, it's Disney Star Wars that's dead. George Lucas Star Wars is a whole different thing.
Thankfully, the gaming industry has enough hands in the cookie jar to where it can be somewhat uneven.
Yeah.
And there can be adjustments because differing opinions and differing minds can come in and say, hey, this is wrong, let's change this, before it gets too far. But in the case of Star Wars and Lucasfilm, it's been being run by one psycho for 10 years, and basically she basically just wouldn't let anybody do anything right, and if they ever did, she'd be mad at them.
For me, the answer to the question that I asked is you can't be in trouble when you're perceived as dead, i.e. Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, they're beyond in trouble. They're lying dead. It's over.
But as I said, Disney Star Wars, Lucas Star Wars is still very much alive for me. Because Disney can't ruin the sequel, the prequel trilogy or the original trilogy, because I have those on DVD. They can't ruin those.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they can't take away the past in that sense.
Yeah.
Until the past is forgotten, which hopefully it isn't at any point.
As long as you and I are alive, it ain't going to be forgotten.
As long as there are those who remember who are still among the living, the past can always be remembered and always be cherished. But only change to the degree that people allow it to be.
Yeah, but back to my original question, at least from my point of view, you can't be in trouble when you're dead. Disney Star Wars.
Yeah.
You are forever getting in trouble when you're constantly doing shit that is illegal. Gaming industry.
Stop breaking the law, asshole!
I kind of wish we had a version of that where Jim Carrey was yelling in the phone, "Stop making dog shit sequels, assholes."
Yeah, that would be fitting.
That would be a good one. That would be a relevant one, because that continues to be made. You heard they're redoing Harry Potter too, right? I mean, I know it's irrelevant, but you know they're rebooting Harry Potter, right?
Yes, I know that, and this is what I have to say to a rebooted Harry Potter series.
It's a trap.
It's not necessary. It's genuinely not necessary.
Because the original Harry Potter films are just fine.
It's just as unnecessary as the reboot of The Lion King was. Just completely unnecessary.
I don't have a lot of good opinions on Emma Watson or Daniel Radcliffe, but that's a whole different story, though.
Yeah, well, again, unfortunately, this doesn't involve them.
No, it doesn't.
But everything, again, like we said, with the March of the Wokies, everything that you know and love was set to be destroyed sooner or later.
But I will say that their portrayal of Harry Potter and Hermione Granger was perfect.
We're talking about the original. You're talking about the original films, not what they're doing now. I mean, obviously, it's obviously there are, until, of course, J.K. Rowling decided to piss off all of her leftist fans. There was a unending love of these films and books.
Yeah.
And many people still love them anyway, but it's unnecessary. It's dumb. Why even bother? Why did they do this? Like, people talk about superhero fatigue, why the Marvel, quote unquote, why the Marvel universe is struggling at movie theaters. It's like, yeah, well, it's because dog shit writing. It's not superhero fatigue.
Well,
what it is, though, with this is, I have reboot fatigue. I have sequel fatigue. I have remaster fatigue. I want something original, for God's sake. Is it that damn hard? And this is actually why Crimson Desert ended up scratching a massive itch for so many of us, because it's a great original game that does break new ground, does do everything not everything, but almost everything right.
Yeah.
And deserves massive praise. I don't even know how anything is going to beat that this year. I mean, I'm talking about, like, my play experience with Crimson Desert so far has been literally one of the most enjoyable gameplay experiences of my entire life. I think this game might actually be possibly the greatest game I've ever played in my life.
If Crimson Desert had come out like 2 or so years ago, then I would have had to have compete with this.
Taki? Eve, are you alright? This place is dangerous. Take my hand.
And the thing I just want to say is, like, clearly Crimson Desert is the type of thing that proves original content is possible. Original gems are possible.
Mm-hmm.
All the studios and developers have to do is put some fucking passion into it. Actually give a shit. Actually talk to gamers about your game when you're developing it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually take inspiration from the great successes of the past. Actually blaze a trail for God's sake. They created their own new engine for that game. And it's breathtaking. It truly is. I still continue to marvel at what I see in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's only been a matter of, well, weeks, I guess, since it's release. But I'm just instantly reminded of how everything has been so enshittified, the enshittification, as they call it. AAA games are such a joke these days that a game like that can come along and blow our damn minds. When, frankly, this was the quality of game that we were getting every time 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We were getting their best effort every single time 20 years ago. Now, we get one game that is a genuinely beautiful, good effort game. Where, it's got some problems, and it had some compatibility issues with PC players, and the control scheme was a bit difficult, and it's a kind of a Dark Souls type game, and then some people would argue that parts of it are kind of unoriginal, but my point about it is it's the total package. Remember when me and you talked about trying to develop the perfect game?
Yeah.
A lot of the elements that I literally wrote down in that rundown I wrote of that are all in Crimson Desert.
But also keep in mind
if I
that...
look at that guide that I wrote about making the perfect video game, almost every bullet point I wrote on that guide is in Crimson Desert.
If you recall that we did that episode of whatever we were calling this thing that we call Breaking Rocks now at the time.
Yeah.
Our discussion of the perfect video game was also centered around being a Star Wars video game too. So
no, I know, but that's because we didn't know how to describe any. I mean, we're not such intense creatives that we were ready to produce our own IP right on the bat, right on the spot. We were just saying that it could work really well if we piggyback it to a known IP. That's what we said at the time.
Yeah, but you and I were also picturing like a current version of Knights of the Old Republic with these ideas is what I was picturing in my head at the time.
Yeah.
Like case in point, showing up on Manan and there you are staring out over the ocean. And then and then our recruiters go, "Hey, do you want to go on a quest?" "Yeah, sure. Let's go see what's on the bottom of the ocean."
Yeah, I'm so thrilled to think that there is still that level of creativity available somewhere in the gaming industry, because for the last decade, it's been such a depressing streak of, again, enshittification is all I can use, the only term I can use, where the devs don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to make a game gamers want to play. They don't know how to do anything other than lecture to gamers and put out overpriced, broken bullshit. That's all they've been doing. I mean, for the most part, with a handful of good titles sprinkled in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I say a handful, I mean literally probably one hand worth of great titles in 10 fucking years.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go back 20 years ago, the whole damn catalog was great titles.
Yeah.
Now you get a great title, and it feels like you just discovered a handwritten version of the Bible by God himself. You know what I mean? It feels like something rare and precious when you get a good game now. I shouldn't feel this way about Crimson Desert. I really shouldn't. But I do. I feel like it's rare and precious at how good the game is. And it's just because of how far down the gaming industry has been dragged in quality.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, like that, I guess that's my main point is like, we have this, business ethics issue with the gaming industry going on, but we also have the quality and the development aspect going on too. And it is nice to see that in 2026 there's still a tiny little ember, a tiny little spark of greatness still burning, in the holes of the gaming industry.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just at Pearl Abyss. Maybe it's just them. Maybe it's just them. But even if it's just them, then more power to them.
Yeah. So on that note, I don't have anything else. Did you have anything that you wanted to bring up?
No, I don't think so. I kind of.
All right. So
everything that's relevant, I think we've gone over here.
Yeah. Because we're over 2 hours into this now, which is
kind of
the
a long
longest.
one.
Yeah. But then again, there was a lot to talk about and a lot of important stuff to talk about, and we had to show that video from what's his name, Jackson.
Yep.
So as I said before, link it to Jackson's video is in the description down below. Click on that. Go watch his video. Go leave a like. Go sub to him over there on his channel. I don't know the guy, but I enjoyed what we watched from him, and I'm subbed to him as well now too. So speaking of subbing or following, go follow the Drew Underground. My secondary X account, which is tied to this channel. You can find me over there. You can also find me on my main X account at that_Drew, as it says in my name in the blue field on here. You can also find Desert Nord on X as well.
Yep. Desert Nord 26 on X. Yep.
At Desert Nord 26. You can also find him on YouTube. You can find Drew Games on YouTube and Drew Gaming on Twitch. I will attempt to be live tomorrow to play Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion with my Dark Elf, with my High Elf character that I'm going to eventually bring into Skyrim with mods after I'm done telling his story during the time of the Oblivion Crisis and what he was up to during the Oblivion Crisis as a young lad. Because by the time we get to the 4th era and the time of Skyrim, he's going to be an old man at that point, or an old elf, if you will. Bro?
Yep.
So that's my intention tomorrow. Hopefully you guys will tune in to Drew Gaming on Twitch to chat with me as I try to tell the story of, I can't remember the character's name right now, but my High Elf character in ES4. Yeah. So you got anything you want to plug or?
No. I the only thing I would say, it's just kind of what you said. I mean, I might be able to dig up thoughts, but it would take me too long, so I just leave it at that.
Well, you could dig up thoughts on your own time while PlayStation is burying all of us.
Yeah.
And as I said earlier, I am officially declaring war on buying digital games, period.
Yep.
That does not include downloading and playing games from Game Pass, because you're not actually buying those outright. You're renting those, as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
That's completely different than clicking buy on the Xbox storefront or the PlayStation storefront, especially at that point. But with that being said, buy physical. But then again, I can't tell you what to do. Only you can decide what to do with your money. And that's the way it should be. That being said, I'm Drew for Drew Underground, Drew Games, and Drew Gaming. He's Desert Nord from everywhere of his name. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Be safe, be well, God bless. Fuck PlayStation. And fuck everybody now that I think of it.
We'll see you guys.
Bye, everybody.
I will never say I'm sorry, I ain't taking nothing back. I don't care if I offend you.